I don't know what that is.
It's an A&E show where you go undercover into a prison
No.
and you do 60 days, and they don't tell you why you're there. You're just in there with hardened criminals.
Zero.
Well, so tonight I'm training a star from that show, Carlos, at 7 p.m. at the Lights Out Boxing Gym.
I don't care.
He's fighting in celebrity boxing coming up in June
I
June
don't
17th. But
I don't care.
it's 60 days in. You wouldn't go undercover in a jail and just see how you survived in population.
I'm pretty sure I'm too pretty for jail.
Oh, wow.
Didn't somebody say that?
But you could get free dental. You get free. So if instead of $118, you can get it for free.
Supposedly you get free dental in the military too, but
I know people that go to jail just to get their teeth fixed.
no. I'll do any. Well, I guess I shouldn't say any because I don't know all of them that are out there. I would do any of the reality shows that we see. I would even do the one I don't watch, Naked and Afraid. I would do that.
Okay.
You
Right.
know, I would do the race. I'd do big. That's who I was contacted.
What's your
by.
favorite reality show of all? Like of all time? Like Big Brother? Is it Survivor?
They're all the same.
American Race?
I think Big Brother is soft
Oh, really?
compared to Survivor.
Okay.
I mean, to me, Survivor's that's the one. I mean, Amazing Race, you're in a hotel every night.
Okay.
Big Brother, you're in a house.
Right.
Okay, unless you get whatever and you have to live in the yard, because I think the last one or the one before, 4 of them had to live out in the yard for 3 days.
Now, speaking of Big Brother, it's huge in Brazil. My wife's Brazilian. Every night we watch this show. It's the reality show. Same.
Well, they're
kind of
all
thing.
down there. Amazing Race was down there, and Survivor.
And so the Telemundo, the Hispanic Mexican house, sent a girl to the Brazil. They had a swap. They sent one cast member from each country.
I don't know if I like that. Swapping people is not allowed in this country or in this world.
But two of the men in the Brazil house got kicked out for assault, for touching her inappropriately, for things got out of hand. And so now it's a big controversy, and it's a huge thing. But
No, it shouldn't be a controversy. They should be kicked out.
right, but I don't even hear about Big Brother in America anymore. Is it still a show? Is it still
Oh
on?
yeah, no,
They
it's
still
been
do
on.
it?
Yeah, it's still been on. It's been on nonstop. There's been some issues,
Okay.
which has been bad, in my opinion.
Because the what was it? The Real Housewives, and then the original one was like the MTV, right?
Well, the Road Rules was back then,
Road
and all that
Rules.
stuff. That's where the Miz came from. Speaking of the Miz is your host for WrestleMania coming up in a couple weeks.
WrestleMania.
Now, from what I understand, first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, the research that's done at this radio show
Intense.
is non-existent.
Excessive.
Excessive.
I'm trying to bring out words from my vocabulary.
So what I've been told is that Vince McMahon is trying to get betting allowed
Oh, okay.
for wrestling matches.
What, gambling on
Yes,
a scripted
yes.
sport?
That's just what I've been told. Now, I don't know if this is true either. The results of WrestleMania allegedly have been leaked. I mean, I've seen it.
Well, scripted.
Yeah, no kidding, it's scripted.
So you can bet on something that's already known?
That's why I find it hard to believe that, because then, yeah, no.
Was it scripted that Chris Jericho was going to be leaving at 1 o'clock at an autograph signing when we got there at 3 with the food?
I believe that was scripted.
Okay, all right. And they were told we were supposed to be there at 5?
There is absolutely no doubt in my mind
That it was scripted.
that we were shafted.
But did you see that they did come out the next day and gave me a great thank you for being a part of the event?
Didn't see that.
Yeah, they went over and beyond to make sure that.
You're welcome.
Appreciative.
You're
thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
I still didn't get to cook for Chris Jericho.
You're welcome.
But there was a list of pizzas that were provided, and I've delivered.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Randy.
Don't cross me.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying I thought it was an awful move that was done, and I let them know that numerous times.
You did. You do.
I'm just saying. I mean,
We got to make it up. Like, can we get just Chris Jericho back on the line? Like,
well, Chris has nothing to do with that store.
that's true.
You know, I'm sure he was paid. He was compensated to come in and do an autograph session. We were told to bring it at the end. The end originally was supposed to be 3.
Yeah.
So
Got extended to 5.
we were told 2:45. I then called. I was told, oh, no, it's going to run late. It's going to run to 5. I then emailed them at noon, or no, at 1, just before 1. And they're like, nope, 2:45. 2:45. So we get there. You're late as always. We got there a little late, and he left at 1.
Yep. Even if I was on
But
time.
they ate them damn pizzas, though.
They sure did.
Whatever. Y2J.
Y2J. Yeah, and my question to you was, is that a Star Wars character? Because it's R2D2. And if you're going to just throw out Y2K, remember Y2K was a thing where the world was going to end and all the computers were going to crash and planes were going to fall out of the sky.
And I remember somewhere in that time period, Chris Jericho, known as Y2J, went, I believe, from WCW to WWE right around that. And so the big lights are going off, and he's Y2J, while they thought Y2 whatever. And they're like, oh no, the whole world's going to blow up. Things are not going to go well. Chris Jericho, arguably one of the biggest names, in that sport, in that genre of entertainment.
Sure, absolutely.
John Jones, by the way, listed his Mount Rushmore
Oh, we did.
of 5 people.
Okay. It's only 4 on Mount Rushmore.
Exactly.
That's fine. Go ahead. Add another rock.
I don't know if you can do that.
You gotta start carving. There's more rock space, right? They can
Well,
keep
you can
going.
always bring a rock in.
The rock. Would you put the rock on your Mount Rushmore wrestling?
I don't know. I'd really have to think. It's almost impossible. It literally is almost impossible. It is impossible.
You have to do it by era, by decade.
I don't even know if you could do that.
Really? It is.
And again, it's so unfair, in my opinion, because it is scripted.
Right.
Like Barry Horowitz, who was huge at Championship Wrestling from Florida. I believe his record ended up like 0-198.
He's a professional loser.
He was a professional loser. And he did it so well.
He's a Hall of Famer for it.
He should be.
He could be the GOAT at losing.
But when it is scripted, you can't compare stats.
You got the Cleveland Browns and you got Barry Horowitz.
So Ric Flair, the 16-time world champion, because he followed the script.
Right.
Not because he physically beat somebody.
Right.
Or The Rock, or Ronda Rousey, or now Charlotte. So when people are like, well, you have to put Stone Cold up because he won 6 world titles. What? What? What makes him better than Wahoo McDaniel?
We did dollar beers for 316.
Well, good for you.
Steve Austin.
Good for you.
Just for tribute.
All right. Just
But,
like I said on what you're doing later, I don't care.
But how can you bet on a scripted sport? Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And there is 0 chance that it could happen.
You can bet on me being the ring announcer on Sunday night.
I can bet that you're still a moron.
But aren't you proud? It's like a son, you should be like a proud daddy. Like that's my boy up there. Like,
What did I decide? I couldn't care less.
but you should be like, that's my boy.
I don't care.
Representing the family.
No. You don't represent me.
Represent Knockout Radio.
You don't represent Knockout Radio. You don't.
You want to see my outfit?
No, that's why you don't represent Knockout Radio. You told me what a clown you're going to look like.
I mean, the promoter asked me to take the sleeves off of a suit. That's the uniform.
It could
Show
be.
these guns off.
It could be the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because I haven't seen it and I'm not going to. I'm going to the Renaissance Festival on Sunday.
Well, we're in Florida, and I'm bringing guns to the gun show. And you can't bring a bomb to Philadelphia because you get banned on Facebook. Did you see that Gallagher post I posted you
I
in?
did.
Can't say bomb, boom, tomb.
You can't say
Come
bomb,
on.
but you can say boom. Oh my God.
That's dumb.
I'm going to try to find the fight schedule, the fight roster of this thing on Sunday. And I may pay one of the fighters.
TBA.
Well, TBA's a tough dude. TBA had, I think, 9 fights scheduled.
9. He's a busy
But I
dude.
may pay one of them a little bit of money just to punch you in the face.
Whoa. I'm not the referee.
I think it'd be awesome.
I'm not in. I'm the ring announcer.
I think they could go to fist pump you and instead just plaster you.
Has a ring announcer ever walked away with the belt after an event? What if I take the championship belt?
Yeah, I'm sure that's happened in WWE because it was in the script.
Well, bet on that. It's going to happen on Sunday night. Your new champion, co-host of Knockout Radio.
You're still the Coco host, even with the empty seat here. I don't even bring a third headset anymore.
That's a good strategy. I would bet that's a good strategy.
I'm leaning
You want
towards.
to bet if he's coming next week?
I'm not betting.
I have inside knowledge.
I won't say it publicly. Whatever. Honestly, whatever.
But I'll see you Sunday. Are you going
You
to come
won't?
support your son?
No, I'm
Come
not.
on.
I have zero interest.
I feel like a child that's been abandoned. Like I don't have the love and support of my family.
Hopefully nobody will leave breadcrumbs and you don't know how to get back home. In a perfect world, you'll be lost and left at that place.
Military family I grew up in is tough.
Right.
It's hard. Like after you lost your car.
I got to do this quick because we're going to run out of time. So my son calls and he says that he's having a disagreement with his wife. That they just went to David Bivey's gym. That's where the grandkids train. And when they walked in, the grandkids started to wave to Mom and Sean. And Sean's like, oh, if we would have done that, we would have got our butts kicked. And my daughter-in-law's like, what are you talking about? They're just saying hi. So he calls, puts this on speaker and goes, what would you do? I go, I'd kick your butt. You're at practice. What are you waving for me?
Practice? Talk about practice?
I'm talking about practice. And I figured for sure my wife would disagree. She goes, absolutely not. Pay attention to practice. You'd be waving at me. But again, I'm the guy that didn't run to the field. His blood was trickling down his face.
I don't practice. I just go for game time.
Yeah.
I'm always ready.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody that will be listening to the downloads, our full list of guests. I guess I need to book a flight or get a flight booked to April 29th. Massive BKFC, but that's April 29th. Norfolk, Virginia, Friday.
Come see me Sunday, OCC Chopper Roadhouse.
Go see the fight.
Live!
Don't go look at this idiot. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong and Staff Song.